Welcome. Hi, welcome to my channel. I've been posting a few things, vlogs here and there, but I wanted to actually sit down and do a talking video to try and flesh out my voice, let you get to know me a little bit more. I've got thoughts and I'm going to share them. This is maybe going to be a series, maybe not, and it's called, Is It Common Sense? I feel like as people fall more and more into the crutch that is TikTok and social media as both an entertainment and a news source, things that you would appear and would assume are common knowledge isn't really anymore. There's a ton of things that you'd think people would know, lessons that they would learn as they go through life, but as I scroll on TikTok, I'm like, nobody ever taught you that? Get down to the root of what it is that is making people lose any and all critical thinking skills. And in this, I really want to offer my personal insight and opinion on these certain topics. And today specifically, I want to talk about self-care and the kind of aesthetic videos that you see of people with their 30-step skincare routines and their guashas and their $50 million products. And obviously that's hyperbole, but you know what I mean. There's perfect lighting, perfect recording, everything is so aesthetic and perfect and beautiful, and it's just so idealized that it makes actual self-care not feel good enough, because you're not recording it. You're not getting millions of likes off the content. If you are recording it, it's not as perfect as everybody else's because you don't have that money. A lot of people are not at the same status as the people who are getting the millions of views because they're getting the millions of views because they have the best stuff, they have the best lighting, they have the time. And that's what it is. It is the time and the money and the ability to make these things that a lot of people genuinely do not have. And this idealized version of the perfect woman who has all of her stuff together and she does her 12-step skincare routine and her 3-step makeup routine, and she still comes out looking like she has the perfect flawless face. It's so unrealistic to the point where it's taking any actual happiness out of the equation, because self-care is supposed to be self-care, not sensationalized in the way that the media makes it. And by media, I mainly mean creators like Alex Earl. Obviously they're not doing anything wrong by promoting this content, but you have to acknowledge that it's unrealistic and it's not fair to the average person for them to subject themselves to that and compare themselves where comparison is not possible. And you have that standard to live up to, everything else pales in comparison. And I know that I'm rambling, and I'm kind of not getting to the point, but I think it's genuinely important to highlight these comparisons so that you understand what I'm talking about when I say that the idea of self-care has been lost. What I'm trying to say is that the point of it is to take care of yourself, is to find time in your day to put attention onto your body, your soul, your mind, to make yourself feel good. Everyday people don't have the time for a 15-step routine. It is a battle between what you have the time to do and what you want to do. And you can want and you can strive for all of the things that these internet girls are doing, but you'll never be able to achieve it because it's unrealistic for your lifestyle. And you have to shape your routine, not around these videos that you see on TikTok, but around yourself and around what makes you happy. So for me, it's all about being mindful and like demure, no, and taking the time to like sit and think about what my next choice will be, right? Social media tends to paint self-care as like the skincare routines, the hygiene, stuff like that. And while that is a component, there are other things too that are technically self-care. That's doing your hobbies, that's cleaning your space, that's, yeah, doing your skincare, right? It's finding time to do things to fulfill yourself, to make yourself feel better. So like, I tend to be running all over the place. I have a lot going on for me right now. I have a lot of classes, I've got work. It's difficult for me to find the time to do things, and even more so, it's difficult for me to find the energy to do things. I could get up out of bed, I could clean my room, or I could lay in my bed and I could watch TikTok and I could get dopamine from sitting there and doing nothing. Or I could get dopamine that I work for. And ultimately, what you work for is more satisfying, but it's harder to get yourself to do. So recently, I have been just shifting my routine, trying to like figure out what is best for me to keep me motivated, to keep me going, and really like looking at like what self-care looks like for me. Because not that I hadn't been taking care of myself, but that I hadn't been like, oh, like, let me dedicate time to me. I had just been like, okay, I'm working, whether it be school or actual work, and then I'm hanging out with my friends, and then any other time I'm rotting in my bed. I don't think I want that for myself. I don't think I want to be that, not to say lazy. I don't think I'm a particularly lazy person. Zooming from here, I'm zooming from there, I'm doing everything. I am always going, and that's why my time in my bed is so precious to me. But I realized that like that preciousness and that like safety that I felt in my bed, although it was nice, it wasn't fulfilling me. I didn't feel happy, I just felt neutral, and I didn't want to do that anymore. I wanted to like set up a routine that was comfortable for me. And so I've started getting up and like actually getting up. Before, I'm a very early riser, so I will wake up literally at 6 in the morning, but I won't get out of bed until like 9. And do you know what I'm doing at that time? I'm sitting in my bed and I'm watching TikTok for 3 hours. 3 hours. And I used to think that was the funniest thing. And it's not. Like, social media is rotting our brains to the point where the only joy that I could find, the only thing that I could think to do within that span of 3 hours, that is a long time, is to just scroll. I didn't get bored. Like, and that's just not the kind of girl I want to be. So my point is, self-care doesn't need to be these 50-step routines. It can be doing things for yourself. So now I tend to get up at least 30 minutes after I wake up, and I get out of bed. I clean up whatever mess I had from the night before, if I didn't clean the night before, because then I make my bed right away. I pick out my outfit right away. I start getting up, I start going, I open my window, I take the time, I do my skincare, I do these things, but I'm not using 50 products. Here, I'll show you what I use. It's literally nothing. Like, it's actually like just things that make me feel like good throughout the day. Some of them are cheap too, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with like not having the ordinary like retinol cream. What do you need retinol for if you're 15? Like, I have this moisturizing facial cleanser, Elf Melting Balm, literally my holy grail, all I use. I can't read that, that's in a different language. No, snow mustard, snow mushroom hyaluronic acid. I'm very dyslexic, my deepest apologies. Bioma gel cleanser. And then my Bath & Body Works fucking lip scrub and lip mask. And I give myself eye drops every morning. Start my day off with clear eyes. It's about accommodating you, what makes you feel good, you know? Like, I could sit here and I can tell you all of the things that I do to make myself feel better, but that's not what's going to help you. What's going to help you is looking in on yourself and realizing what you need to do to give yourself joy and energy and like something to care about, you know? And like, just like get yourself through the day a little bit more, add a little bit more joy, add a little bit more whimsy. Like, people don't really talk about that anymore as much as they talk about like the idealized version of self-care. And it's like, it's a game. Like, it's not for you, it's for the aesthetic. It's for the like idea that you're being this clean girl. And like, girl, be clean if you want to be clean. I'd hope you're washing yourself. My point is, do that to make yourself feel good. Like, if you're gonna do all these extra little things, do them because you want to. So like, now, another thing that I've added into my routine for the sole purpose of making me feel good, is I just put these on every night. Like, I doubt they even do shit. Like, these could be working, or they couldn't be. That's not my concern. My concern is, it makes me feel nice. It makes me feel like I'm taking time to do something for myself, instead of coming home from my shift and spending time scrolling on my phone, doing nothing for hours until I fall asleep. I can come home from my shift, clean up my space a little bit, put all my work stuff away, and then I can put these on and I can watch a show, or I can journal, or I can read a book, or hell yeah, if I want to scroll on TikTok, I'll scroll on TikTok. But the point is, TikTok is not your only option. A 5-step routine that you do every once in a while to make yourself feel okay is okay. You don't need to fall into the lifestyle, because I promise you, it will just be more draining for you. I could go out there and I could buy all of those products that I see all of those girls buying. I could get an ice bowl and I could dunk my face in it, and I could sit there and I could put on 50 different mud masks and different retinol creams and oils and serums and stuff like that. And yeah, I'd probably feel nice, but it would also feel like a chore. And taking care of yourself shouldn't feel like a chore. It should be fun. Like, you need to accommodate to yourself more than you are accommodating to what the girls on the internet tell you that you need to be doing to take care of yourself. Because it's yourself. But I guess that's not common sense anymore.